For any school, the greatest gift that can happen is the success of its alumni.
One of the slogans I've heard in the past is student for a year, alumni for a lifetime.
Our alumni are driving innovation, they're driving entrepreneurship and creating new ventures.
I'm very, very excited about where the school is today.
Early days when we used to go out to the world and talk about the school, we also had to explain what the school was about, but not anymore. And that makes me extremely proud.
You all describe your ISB experience as a transformative one. I think it's important for us to create that opportunity for a large number of people.
This school was built on pretty audacious ambition. You come into ISB, you look at the building and you think, would anyone in the world, in its first year, would they put up a structure like this? Would they launch a program with no sitting faculty whatsoever? Would they go and get 3 of the world's leading business schools in the world, knock their heads together and say that we want you to be the founding partners of the school?
Setting up an institution is very different from running a 100-year-old institution. There are a lot of upfront costs, costs of building the infrastructure, costs of deficit funding. But the expectation has always been that to sustain the institution, to take it forward, at some point, alumni will come in to support the institution.
Institutions like ISB are essentially public-spirited institutions, but privately managed. And that is only enabled when there's a large number of people who give to ISB and help ISB grow. Your giving can essentially impact the school in 3 different ways. 1, scholarship. 2, research support. And 3, infrastructure augmentation.
It allows us to break barriers to education of cost, flexibility, access, and make ISB accessible to a wide range of promising future leaders.
What we want to do is we want 25% of the students who are coming into our programs to have scholarships. And we want to achieve it by 2025.
ISB is the preferred knowledge partner of the Government of India. Our faculty's research informs evidence-based policy making in this country.
We should all be very proud of what the school has achieved in terms of its research productivity in the last 20 years. However, there could be cases where there are important questions, important challenges that the faculty can address, but currently there is no appetite for that type of research among the funding agencies or the philanthropic foundations. This is where the alumni can play a very important role.
When we speak of culture of giving, I think of the O8 Lounge, for instance, or the Gazebo in Mohali, the O9 Amphitheatre, the giving that you all endowed. And these are some really outstanding examples that ISB proudly showcases to the world outside.
When I looked at that brochure 18 years ago, it was pretty awesome. I think the quality of education, back then I'll say it, and I say it with even firmer conviction at this time, it is absolutely world class.
Most ISB people you meet have done very well in their lives. It's just that alumni should think about giving back to the school as well, because the school has usually resulted in a huge jump to their career and their lives.
One of the things that happened to me post ISB was I had a dramatic change in my career, my life, my way of thinking. And I realized that the value I took away from the school was not just in the classroom, but equivalent outside the classroom.
The more you give, the more it comes back in a compounding way. I think it's a two-way street. So for me, it was more like a gratitude when I thought about giving.
In the olden days, there used to be Guru Dakshina to say thank you. This is my way of looking back and saying thank you, ISB.
What you give in small chunks eventually grows out to be a large amount from which the school is going to hugely benefit. So I think that's the way to think about it.
No institution really survives on fee-based revenues. No institution can go the extra mile when it comes to research, when it comes to innovation, when it comes to investing in people, in new ideas, unless it has a large endowment.
Given the size of our alumni community, its growing influence, both in the industry as well as policy making circles, I'm sure we can do much more.
I sincerely believe this is just the beginning.
I'm just sticking to our DNA. That's what ISB was. It was audacious when it began, and it met its ambitions in full, I think. Now it is on us to take it to the next level by being equally ambitious.
Taking ISB to its fullest potential, which I believe is to make it one of the top business schools in the world, is not just possible, but it can happen and will happen with all your support.